guys, thank you for tuning into AmysCrypt. Today we are going to be exploring the Bukit Brown Cemetery. We're also going to be hanging around until night time to do some investigating. This place is thought to be one of the most haunted in all of Singapore, so it's going to be a very interesting episode, so stay tuned. So we've just walked into the cemetery and so far it looks really beautiful. There's actually hiking trails that lead all around it because it's situated in almost like a jungle type landscape, and it's so cool. It's actually an old Chinese cemetery, so I don't know, I always love looking at the Chinese graves because they have a really unique look and feel to them. They're very distinct and different to other ones, so I always enjoy that. But I think we've got a lot of ground to cover. This one's massive. Alright, I wanted to give you a bit of background information about this cemetery, the Bukit Brown Cemetery. It exists in this very vast jungle, and this place is massive. There's actually said to be over 100,000 graves here. And it's thought to be one of the most haunted places in Singapore for a few reasons. We have a specific type of ghost called the Pontianak that supposedly haunts here. There's supposed to be a few here actually, and that's basically a pregnant woman who died whilst carrying a child, and when they come back they're very fierce, very aggressive and very feared by the general public. So I've read that there are some of them present here. They're also kind of vampire-like, which is an interesting take on a ghost. We also have a recent controversy surrounding this place. A couple of years ago there was a 6 or 8 lane freeway that was commissioned to be built through the cemetery, and in fact it was, and this took away some 4,000 graves, so they're actually exhumed and removed from the area. You guys might even be able to hear the freeway in the background here, I'm not sure, but it's a huge thing, and that's said to have angered the spirits here, not only the ones that were removed but the rest of the dead who are trying to rest here. It's said that their ghosts have risen from their graves and they are trying to protect their burial place. So I've read some articles that say there's 100,000 ghosts here, and that's crazy to think about. So we'll do some investigations tonight and see if we can meet any of them. Alright, so let's go check out this tomb here. So before I walked in, there's a big infographic at the front of the hike. It kind of displays the different types of tombs that are here. So this is one of the typical ones. I guess they put the male on this side, female on this side, and this thing here on the side is a earth god shrine. So I guess a lot of them have that. Even this smaller one at the back here has a little shrine too. So it's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, there's one in here. So we're kind of off of the road path now. It's odd. And there's all graves in here as well. I think this whole area is just filled with them, although it's like pretty jungle-like. This place is super overgrown, but surprisingly a lot of the graves, if you look in here, they're maintained enough that they're still accessible and clear, so I guess they still look after this place enough, at least for that. I do think there might be one in here though. Can't really tell, that one's overgrown. Well, that one's definitely heaps more overgrown, just marked with a number. There's like an animal up here too. So I read this place is actually also a sanctuary for birds, and heaps of very rare species live in this jungle area amongst the cemetery, which is scary to me because I'm scared of birds, but it's kind of nice that they've got somewhere to be in the city. Alright, so I'm just walking down into one section of the cemetery, which is, I'll say, a lot less grand, but it is known as the paupers section. And here is where a lot of the working class people who literally worked to build up Singapore are buried. And there's a lot of them here. They think that there's tens of thousands of graves that were lined here. Another thing that apparently here during World War II and the Japanese occupation of this area, there was a lot of bodies that needed disposing of because of all the chaos that was going on at the time. They think a lot of those were also buried here in this area too. I think that there will be a lot of people resting in this area of the jungle. So I'm still in the paupers area, and this one has an interesting marking on its side. It looks different to, say, the writing on the front. It almost looks like a counter. I don't know what that signifies. If anyone watching knows, drop me a comment. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I think this one here, this big one, must be some kind of military grave. We've got these two soldiers watching over it. Don't know what's going on down here with all the monks. There's some more counters on these ones as well. Surely that means something. There's a few of them have it. So I'll tell you what, cemetery and all the hauntings and ghost stories aside, this is actually a pretty pleasant little walk. I've seen quite a few other people in here just hiking through, you know, walking their dog or just walking, and I don't know, I get it, it's nice. So on one of my recent cemetery videos, I visited a cemetery in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and I learned about hell money. If anyone watching this isn't aware of that concept, it's basically, in some cultures they believe in burning fake money to send to their relatives in the afterlife so that they can, you know, find their feet and have some money when they get there. And I don't know what's going on here. There's been a lot of something burnt here. I don't know if that's hell money or what. Maybe that's a very wealthy ghost. I don't know. It's all up here too. These look so cool in the jungle. You'd never think there's just this cemetery in this jungle in the middle of Singapore. You can see the back of all the tombstones in here as well. They're all just hidden in this overgrowth. Is this the track that we came down, the first track? I'm gonna get so lost in here. This place is massive. I read it has something around about 100,000 graves. So you can just imagine how far it spreads, because it's not like they're confined into a small space and squished together. They're just spread through the jungle. We go that way or that way?
That way.
Which way? This way?
The non-dark scary way.
Let's go this way. It's an old mattress down here. You know, how? Why? Why is that there? How did it get there? I don't know if this is the same cemetery. We've been walking for a while. Paupers Hokkien Cemetery. Let's go in. So there might actually be a fire up here. There's a whole bunch of smoke coming out of the jungle. Maybe we need to go up and have a look. I actually think maybe there's been fires in this area already. Like, all these leaves seem a bit crispy down here. Jared's gonna suss it out. What is it? What are you smiling at?
Okay, so there's a fire or something comes out, but on my way there's a guy sitting with just his jocks on in like patio furniture under a tree up there.
What?
I just decided I turned around and just gone back.
I'm going in, guys. Yeah, Jared was right. There's definitely a man up there sunbaking in his little friggin' Brazilian panties. Decided not to mess with that. So I'm actually right in front of that freeway now. It's just up behind me and it's quite noisy. And you can see how close it is to the cemetery. There's a lone tombstone here just behind me. So I get why the spirits would be disgruntled. I don't know if they're still working on it as well because there's construction all down here. So maybe the ghosts are still peeved and they're just trying to protect their little resting spot. I don't know. The graves are seriously just hidden everywhere as well. So there's the freeway again. And I've just scaled this little hill and you can just see them all behind me. They're all just tucked away and hidden in there, like all inside the jungle. It's really amazing. People even ride horses here. Do you think that's what was in the pens that we saw earlier? Guys, now it is time to wait until the sun goes down, and this is a big part of the life of AmysCrypt. But what is so cool about this place is we actually just managed to find some seats. We never have this. Normally we're just like pacing or sitting on the floor somewhere. How do you feel, Jared?
Look at these patio furniture in the middle of the cemetery.
I don't know, but it's worked out pretty well for us. I feel like I just need a nice cold beer, be set while we wait. But this is really nice. Bloody hell. What just happened, Jared?
Waiting for the sun to go down, ants infested my bag.
They were all over him.
I reckon it's a mosquito repellent.
You think? What, it's attracting bugs?
Well, no.
I've actually been bitten a few times already. Now he's got to try and clean that out. There's ants everywhere. It's our seats where the ants came to bite us.
That woke us up, didn't it?
That woke me up for sure. You just ran. Well, at least it's almost dark. Just heard something behind me. Very haunted. Does it look like there's someone walking down the street towards us? Where are you buried? That was really strange, that loud metallic bang. That was very, very close to us. Something just jumped out of the bush. There's definitely a male voice. Crap, where did it go? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. If you want to do any more reading on this haunted place or others that I visited, head to AmysCrypt.com. You guys can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at AmysCrypt. Until next time.